Welcome to the E-Show with Neil Ravin. With over 1,000 NCAA commitments, the EHL is the proven path to college. Turn it up and learn more about the college placement leader at the Division II and III levels.
Welcome into the E-Show. Once again, my name is Neil Ravin. This is Season 1, Episode number 7, brought to you by Gel Sticks, the official training aid of the E-Show. And let's welcome in this week's guests. It's Team Maryland, and it's Josh Fusco, Evan Green, and Tristan Mock. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hey, Neil, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you for having us, Neil.
And we'll jump right into it. First with you, Josh. So you have previous experience in this league. For those that don't know, you were part of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights program that's no longer in the EHL. When everything was unfolding last year and you knew that this position was opening up with Team Maryland, what was it about Team Maryland and the EHL that made you want to stay in the league?
The biggest thing was staying in the league. I wanted to stay in the Eastern Hockey League because of what it is and you know, the representation it has throughout the hockey community, the strength of the league, and then obviously the players, development side of things with the college commitments and the advancement of players. I think the biggest thing for me with Team Maryland was it was an opportunity for me to finally take control of something and build something of my own. The door was wide open here. The facilities are spectacular. It's quite amazing when it comes to what we have to offer junior hockey players, and I think it's a playland for them, you know, with our facilities and the locker room facility, the weight room, all the staff that we have, the members of our organization. That was the appealing thing to me, and I saw an opportunity to be the guy in charge and come in and build something from the ground up, and again, stay in the Eastern Hockey League was the biggest thing.
And then we'll go with you first, Evan. You stayed in the league also, now in your age-out year. When did you first talk with Coach Fusco about staying with him? And I know you're from Missouri. Did it make any difference to you if you were playing in Wilkes-Barre or playing in Maryland?
No, not really. I actually met Coach Fusco in a real funny way. I was having Thanksgiving with a buddy, and he happened to be over at his house. And so I met him months before I ended up playing on his team. And then we just kind of met as people before I really met him as a coach, and got along great. Thought he was a great dude. And then once I saw an opportunity to play in the league after my 18U year, I was real excited about it. First taste of junior hockey, and he took me in with open arms. And honestly, I saw a lot of development in my game. And when Wilkes-Barre no longer had a team in the EHL, I figured if I was going to play in an NA3 team, I could do that at home. But if I had an opportunity to play in the EHL, I definitely wanted to do that. And I saw an opportunity to come here and help be part of changing Team Maryland from what it was last year, and looked like a great opportunity.
I think that's a great point, too, because, Tristan, you have experience in the past with both an NA3 team, a USPHL team, but like Evan, in your age-out year, you chose to come – or Evan stayed. You chose to come to the EHL. What was it about Josh Fusco? What was it about the EHL that made you come to Team Maryland?
Both, to be honest with you. I met Coach Fusco over the summer, talked to him a bit, and, you know, he seemed like a great guy. And I heard the EHL was good for getting commitments, and, you know, I was an age out, so I needed somewhere to go and somewhere where I was going to be seen, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity for me.
And then back around to Josh, not the best season last year for Team Maryland. We won't talk about that too much, but right out of the gate this year, everyone noticed something different. You know, you had won 4 of the first 7 games. The games that you lost were by 2 goals or 1 goal each. Everyone was like, okay, things have changed. When you first took over in the position, did ownership give you any goals to meet, or was it, like you kind of already said, was it just free and whatever you can accomplish is going to be a big step from last year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in my mind, obviously, you want to compete for a championship every year, and you want to have, you know, a competitive hockey team. I think the biggest goal for me was the quality of the players, right? And we talk a lot about that as coaches, especially in this league, the quality of the player that we have on our teams and a part of our organizations. Ownership didn't put a whole lot of pressure on me. Really, they just wanted to see things move in the right direction. Not to pat myself on the back with it, but I think they knew that they were getting somebody to come in here that's going to get the job done, get the organization moving in the right direction. Be a part of the family down here with Team Maryland Youth, with our 18s and work with the youth teams on developing players. And then you have the Black Bears, right, which is the same ownership group. So the biggest focus was having somebody in this building that was going to get the job done as far as moving things along in the right direction and creating a quality program. My mind obviously is I want to win a championship. I had that taste in Providence last year. Got a couple of the boys that were on that team here with me in Maryland. And the biggest thing for me was identifying players that can come in, make an impact, give them a home, give them a future, put them on the right direction, and identify players that, we talk a lot about trusting the process when it comes down to it, right? Trust the process of your development, trust the process of what it's like to be a hockey player at a high level on and off the ice. I want guys that want to grow on the ice. I want guys that are going to grow with the game of hockey and grow up and mature as an adult and leave my building at the end of the season, moving on to the next level, whether it's college or the North American Hockey League or wherever their destination may be. I want them leaving this building a better person. So that was my biggest focus, identifying guys that want to be here, want to play at a high level, want to develop, want to grow. And I trusted myself knowing that if I had those players and those type of kids, I could build something pretty special here and get the program on the right path, but have a successful season. And, you look at where we were from the beginning of the year, like taking off the start that we did, it definitely was settling and made you feel good about where we were going. But it's more about the players. And I knew that if you do right by the players and you have the right guys in, it'll take off. It'll nature runs its course, right? That's the famous saying. So I knew that would happen. And then it was just little goals on where we were at in the season, little goals with where we were at with getting guys and practices at the next level, where we were at with getting guys college visits, talking to schools, opening that door to guys, and obviously make the playoffs, right? So that was goal number one, make the playoffs. And then, you work from there. And I think this group has done a tremendous job with those goals, just working at little things, chipping away, becoming better hockey players. Again, I go back to our facilities and what we have and our strength and conditioning staff, our coaches that come out and help. We have a skills coach that comes out and works with the guys. So we have the tools here. And that's something, when you talk to, recruiting kids, I'm going to give you a toolbox. And what you do with those tools is up to you. The tools are here. What you build with it is up to you. And I'm going to open one door, and that door is our entrance to our locker room facility. On the other side of that door, there's 40 other doors for you to open. It's your future. Trust the process. And that's been our motto the whole year, is trusting the process within ourselves and as a group.
And I think those are all some great points there. And part of those tools, that process, is having captains and leaders that you can rely on to deliver the message that you're trying to convey to all your players. And Evan, you're a captain of this team. To get off to the start that you guys did that kind of help settle things in for this year's new group?
Yeah. Like Coach Fusco mentioned, I was in the Final Four last year on that Wilkes-Barre team, and just the bar was set high. The bar wasn't set just to be better than the team last year. We wanted to make the playoffs. We want to make a deep run in the playoffs. We don't just want to settle for being mediocre. We feel like we have a good group, completely different group than last year, and just never being settled for where we're at. We want to strive to be better, and we know we can be. And we're happy with the progress that we've made over the year, but the season's not done. We still have regular season games to play. We still have a playoff push coming, and we want to take care of those and just not settle for anything less than what we can absolutely provide.
And then transitioning back to earlier in the year for you, Tristan, early on in the year, you got to play for the EHL All-Star team, and you played very well over those 3 days in October. How did that experience help?
He had great
change
coaching, Neil.
Yeah, how did that experience help change? How did the experience help change your game, and how have you seen your play improve since that weekend?
Well, obviously, the step from juniors to college is a big jump. So just getting to see the pace, the style of play, the physicality, it's a little bit faster. Guys are harder on pucks. It was just very beneficial towards me because now I know what I have to do to be a successful college hockey player. And I think in those 3 games that, it was a big learning curve for me, and I learned a lot. And I'm going to be ready to go next year when I go to school.
And when you came back to Team Maryland after that weekend, were there a lot of guys in the locker room that kind of asked you questions? What was it like? What do I have to do better and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they were always coming up to me saying, hey, what do I need to do to play college hockey? And I gave them honest answers. You got to be harder on your stick. You got to be quicker than this. You got to do this and that. They came to me as a leader and asked me one-on-one, and I told them. And, things have been going really well for us here.
And you talk about college hockey. You're both committed. I'll let Evan answer this one. You're going to the same school next year. Was this planned, or did it just happen?
No, this absolutely came out of nowhere. We talked to Coach Young at Becker, and he was really interested in us. And we actually have a buddy who's on the team there, and we were like, yeah, we'll go visit. We'll go see what it's like. Keeping all our options open. We're both 99s. We understand that at this point we can't be too highly on ourselves. We have to appreciate every opportunity that we're given. So we went up there, and when we visited the school, the team was awesome. The facilities were fantastic. It's in Worcester, Massachusetts, so just 30-minute train ride to Boston. And I don't know, we both just kind of fell in love with the school when we were up there, and we saw it as a great opportunity to spend our next 4 years of our hockey career.
So are we going to be roommates next year again too, or no?
We're working on that. More than likely.
So then shifting back to Josh, one thing that I noticed in getting ready for this interview is with your team, you've actually been outscored in the first period of games so far this year. But then in the second and third period, you continue to outscore your opponents. Is that a credit to what you guys talk about in between periods? Is it a credit to the conditioning off the ice? What do you point that towards, that as the games go on, your team gets better?
I'm going to credit it to the kids, the guys. They're competitors. I think the environment that we have in that locker room with these guys, and like Evan mentioned earlier, like, don't settle for anything less. That's our mentality, and we know for us to be successful, we have to play 60 minutes of hockey. It's not going to be 10-minute spurts. It's not going to be, the last 5 minutes of a game or the first 5 minutes of the game. That's going to, that's going to be the outcome of a hockey game. The big thing is you look at our lineup, right? A lot of young kids, a lot of young guys, a lot of rookies, mixed in with the older guys, the veteran guys, and I credit the veteran guys and our leadership, the captain. Guys like Mocker here and Green. It's that leadership in that locker room, keeping guys settled, keeping guys relaxed, knowing there's a lot of hockey left. I think down the stretch here, especially when we went through that rough patch in December, we kind of took a game 5 minutes at a time, and we took that mentality and we started adopting the mentality of we're one team, we're one heartbeat. We need everybody on board. And you've seen a lot of these younger kids grow throughout the year, and that's been our success. Just staying patient with the process. And then, in-game adjustments. I think a lot of these kids are sponges, and they want to grow and they want to learn, and that's part of the game, right? Is your mistakes, learn from them, point it out, take the negatives but give the positives, and we're going to move forward and we're going to keep chipping away. And I think with our style of practices that we have here, with the work that we put in here, you see a stronger late in games, and I credit it to that. But it ultimately comes down to the kids, right? And I go back to what I said earlier, the quality of the kid. You know, they want to be here. They want to grow. They want to develop. They want to become better hockey players. They want to become better athletes and you know, mature with the game. And I think that's been the success, right? Is the in-game adjustments and being an athlete. And having that competitive edge to them. We know that when we're in a game, if we're down by 2 goals or 3 goals, we're still in a hockey game, and there's no panic button. It's just keeping guys in check. You know, I'll keep going through it. Accountability is a big thing, right? You see that in younger guys. So the veterans have been good with holding themselves accountable to be able to point out things to the younger guys to hold them accountable. And then it goes right back. So if a younger guy is holding himself accountable first, then he can hold a veteran accountable. And again, that's been adopted. So I think that's the success late in games for us, is all those things. Everything adds up.
And you just throughout that answer, you said younger guys a lot just now. I mentioned, you know, between Mock and Green, they're both committed. Are there other players that maybe the names aren't as well known across the league, but fans and college coaches to keep an eye on down the stretch here?
Yeah, just quite a few. You know, all the 99s are looking at schools. All the AHL guys are looking at schools and weighing options and, you know, trying to decide. Like Green and Mock said, when they went to Becker, they fell in love with it, and it felt like home to them. And you know, that's been the process with the 99s. Find the right fit, find some place where you're going to be happy for 4 years. It's not necessarily always about, you know, the program and wins and losses. And it's more about your academics and your career, the path you're taking. With the younger guys, yeah, like you look at Jay DeRuiter. You know, he just played for his home country in the World Junior Championships there in the second division, I believe it was. And they just got silver, by the way. You look at Dennis Archipenko. He got called up, played with the Black Bears in the NA a couple weeks ago. And obviously he was a product of me in Wilkes-Barre and had time there at the next level. I think a guy that, when I say this name, Jeff Redmond, he's been a tremendous asset to us. He's got a lot of spunk, a lot of fire in his game. But he's been a kid that really from day one has grown a lot, and you know, he's taking that toolbox and he's working on his game. And he's working on becoming a better hockey player, and he's had some schools already as an 01 show interest in him. Joseph Donahue, he's been tremendous for us on the backside. You know, he's continued to grow and develop his game. He's got some interest as 2000s. A couple guys went on a visit a couple weeks ago to a newer program, Alvernia, with Vinny Petrangelo over there starting that program up. You know, 01s and 2000s going on a visit there, which it just shows that, you know, the quality of the players that we have and the quality of the guys that we have, and maybe that trust factor between, you know, knowing that they're here under my direction, it shows where they're going to be in a couple of years. You know, and I can keep going down the list. John McDonald, another defenseman of ours, young, 2000. Bobby Geyer, he's been tremendous and has really developed his game, and he's got some opportunities at the next level ahead of him. So it's a lot. There's a lot, and I don't think there's very many negatives to take out of this season when it comes to the development of our guys here. And I throw that success towards our veteran guys, like the two are sitting here with me right now, and the other guys in that locker room, and what we have here to offer at Maryland.
And we'll shift back to those two veterans right now. I'll give them each one more. Evan, we'll start with you. As I mentioned before, getting ready for this interview, I was looking at a few different things that have come up so far for you guys. One thing that just totally popped off that I didn't even notice is that since January 19th, you've been home, and you'll continue to be home through the end of the year. you're in a stretch where it's 10 straight home games to finish off the year. With previous year's experience, you can kind of go off of this. Does that help you feel more comfortable down the stretch? How does that make you better prepared for the postseason, staying at home all that time?
Well, it definitely helps because we were coming off a 2-month stretch before that, the months of November and December, where we played. I think we went from November 6th to January 10th without a home game. We were on the road for 2 straight months. So it's really just being home, being able to get in a routine, aren't having to get to the rink early to get on buses for games. You can stop at the same Dunkin' Donuts that we go to every time. We can sleep in our beds every time. Just really get refreshed here. And it was a good reset after that long stretch of road games to help us be refreshed going into playoffs.
And we'll wrap it up with Tristan now. Coming into playoffs now, it's unknown what your final seed will be, but I would imagine that the team has to feel a sense of confidence knowing that whether it's the Rough Riders, the Little Flyers, the Junior Flyers, no matter who you face, you can beat them. You have before, and you can definitely play with those teams.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we're definitely confident going into playoffs. Down the stretch, we see the Little Flyers one more time. That's going to be a big game for us because that's looking like our first round matchup right now. And, we've done well against them. We've had success against every team in our division so far. So we're not really scared of anybody, and we're coming to play.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tristan just mentioned it. Coming up on Friday, they have the Philadelphia Little Flyers at home at 11 o'clock, and then they have 3 games after that, all against the North Carolina Golden Bears as they get ready for the postseason. Maybe you can call them a sleeper team. They were a little bit last year, but Wilkes-Barre got all the way to the Frozen Finals under Josh Fusco's guidance. So make sure to keep an eye on Team Maryland as we head into the postseason. And good luck down the stretch, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you, Neil.
Thanks again to Team Maryland for jumping on the podcast this week. Josh Fusco, Evan Green, and Tristan Mock. A program definitely to watch. Kind of has a similar feel to last year's Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights team, one that you may turn away for a second, and then next thing you know, they're in Providence. So with that, though, let's welcome in my E-crew, Jeff and Brittany. We're into February now. As I mentioned last week, we're now another week closer, and still there's really not that much that's been determined yet.
Nope, nothing.
And what do you know? Another weekend and another Rangers Lumberjacks split, guys. What? Those two just literally can't sweep each other, huh?
It was
like
almost
impossible.
not a split, though. It was almost not a split.
It was almost not a split.
Brittany was up there.
I was up there.
The
A
trip
great time.
The trip that never ended.
No, it was up there for legit like 3 days.
So
Tell us about it, Britt. How was
we have-
Letty Arena?
we have
Letty
an annual-
Arena is warm.
Well, not always.
No, this weekend it wasn't. It was minus like 10 degrees outside, legit. And it was
I don't know
Hey,
warm
you said it was
in
like
there.
-3 when you were texting us the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
how it
was
was
warm.
warmer inside them because whenever I'm there, it's freezing.
No, it was wonderful. I had no complaints.
As the boat goes in and all of a sudden it just gets sunny and conditions are great and
Yeah.
Letty Arena could just sense Brittany Hart.
No!
Oh,
The
my
mic
God.
fell again.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm not joking you, Neil and Jeff. The stand for these microphones is so bad.
For everyone at home, Neil literally before we went on just asked Neil
If the
Brittany, do you
microphone-
have a good-
Dude, the microphone stand is the worst. Okay.
We're just providing good comedic value to our fans.
All right,
at
done,
home.
done. I'm done with the mic.
So Brittany's on a 2-week heater of dropping the microphone.
I know. Sorry,
Tiny lapse.
everybody.
As I was saying in the middle of there at some point, Jeff, we have our annual league banquet. The
Yes.
Lumberjacks are, I think, probably the only team that has a team banquet. And lo and behold, something that I've never attended, the first time Brittany ever steps foot into the state of Vermont, she goes to the Lumberjacks banquet on Sunday night.
So she
Thank
gets
you,
banquets,
Maurice.
she gets swag.
You saw the Wolf swag, right?
Wolf swag. Andrew and Tim, I gotta send some text to you guys. I would like some Wolf swag too.
You
Please.
pick
I
a
got
Wolf
that this
player every
weekend,
week.
I think.
I know. Seriously, I
I don't
love the
know what else
Wolves.
you know.
Great. I'll take some BGR swag too. Richie, get us and start sending some texts.
Please, Brittany has enough of that stuff, so you can just borrow it from her.
All right. Something tells me that what fits Brittany's probably isn't going to fit me, but
Well,
I'll stretch it out. Stretch it out.
How was the Lumberjacks banquet?
Oh my God, it was so nice. Everyone did some little speeches. They give out like team awards and, the forward defenseman most improved. And then they have one called the Lumberjack Award, and it was like cute. Like Jimmy gave this whole like spiel, and it was cute. And like Tyler Wisniewski won it, right?
So
Yeah, and then
nice.
I'm pretty sure. And then on the
Pick.
P, Nick Speckhart won it, and Nick Speckhart is like my favorite. He's great. He's like the nicest kid ever. He was like, I had to help him with the shootout this weekend because he didn't know how to do it. He's like, can you help me live score this? And I was like, yeah sure, I'll help you.
I'm sure Descanio and Buffalene won absolutely no awards, right? Same with Roduzzi and
Right. No, Doozy actually didn't win anything. Buff got something.
Still new.
Buff got something and Logan got something. And I don't know. I can't remember who got what, but
So hold on. Let's go back.
Most valuable player. Logan got that.
Okay, great. Well, obviously,
right.
He leads the league in scoring.
Yeah. Is that good?
So let's go back to the Lumberjack Award that you defined as cute. Can you now explain to everyone what it means to win the Lumberjack Award?
Okay,
is it like hard work on the ice? What is it?
Both, all of it. It's basically the person who represents what the Vermont Lumberjacks are all about.
Better than cute.
Jack's gonna Jack, baby.
Yeah. So like cute little award, like fun.
So they actually were losing in game 1, Jeff, and
4-1.
Jimmy made a bold move. He pulled Roduzzi, went to Dylan Whalen. They come back, win that one in a shootout. And then next day, started Whalen, pulled Whalen, went to Roduzzi. They come back and win and lose that one, right? But Roduzzi kept them in it at the same time. I think he had 30 saves the second day. I could be wrong.
We'll go with it. Yeah, sure.
So it was a similar weekend as to
they
what he
split,
had when
right?
I picked him for fantasy.
Yeah, they split all 4 of their games. The slight edge goes to Rich because he had one of his losses was in a shootout, so he gets the extra point, if you will.
Right.
What's now wild is where we stand in the New England Conference standings. So before I get into that, though, let's start making our way around the E-Show.
It's time for this week's segment of Around the E-Show.
And as I was saying, those New England Conference standings, Rangers are in first place. What's going to be really crazy to watch, we're obviously recording this podcast earlier this week, dropping it the usual Thursday that we always do. Vermont's got 4 games left. 2 against.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh yeah, 2
games,
Seacoast, 2 at Valley.
2 Seacoast, 2 Valley.
Ooh, nice schedule for them.
Yeah. So, if they win,
anyways,
if they win,
nicer on paper.
everything's great on paper. I mean, they are the.
Trider's going to be licking his chops to knock them off.
And hey, Trider still has to win a couple of games here just to clinch their spot, unless the Chiefs or Valley doesn't put together a streak to catch them. But
took the words right out of my mouth.
Say Vermont wins their 4 games, and they get to 71 points. The key thing to watch then is they hold the tiebreaker over the New Hampshire Avalanche, having won 3 of the 4 matchups.
Oh,
the Avalanche. I told you we're recording this earlier, dropping it later. The Avalanche have 7 games remaining. If they go 6-1, it's not good enough.
Really?
If they go 6-0-1, it's good enough by a point.
And their heater's a little hotter than Brittany's mic dropping heater, as most people know.
Right.
9-1 in the last 10. They've been. I was checking out doing some research earlier, and they've just been lots of W's for Sorella. And roll Avs roll, man. I give them credit. Everyone's pretty much counted them out, right? We've all been talking about the Jacks and the Rangers and the Rangers and the Jacks. And here come the Avalanche sneaking right up in the standings, just doing what they usually do, producing and getting wins. And, there's probably going to be another team that's scary to watch in the playoffs.
And here's what gets so wild, right? So recording this Tuesday, dropping it Thursday. By the time this drops, the Avalanche will have played the Warriors, who, like the Lumberjacks playing the Warriors, on paper, one team is the favorite, one team is not. Moving on.
Moving
Yeah,
on.
I was going to say that was not a slight to anybody.
No,
Coach
I already.
Strider, Coach
Well,
McGrath, Coach Andrikopoulos, all the gang.
Following that game, they go Express, Wizards, Spartans, Rangers, Wolves, Wolves. So they could win out. If they go 7-0 and win out and get that number 2 spot by 2 points, maybe they go 6-0-1, get it by 1 point. That's wild. And now if you're Vermont, you're thinking back to the Wolves games, a couple of those that you were winning that you just dropped in the third period. And
Yeah, they've only won one game against the Wolves.
you just
so
get one of those
yikes.
points, it changes everything. And the reason that's so key is, put it this way, 2-3, if everything stays as chalk through the playoffs, 2-3 is your playoff matchup. In the second round, winner goes to Providence, loser goes home.
So we're either all trekking to the den or we're all trekking back up to Letty. Guys, come on, here we go.
It's over 125 miles. It's
Mhm.
over 125 miles. And I think it goes without saying, whoever is home has a significant advantage.
Oh,
Yeah, but they've both each won games away. Like Vermont has won in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's won in
Now, if we can make that a showcase game instead, Neil, then, Coach Sorrell's going to be freaking out a little bit.
But this is going to be that 2-team race is going to be fun. Now, it could get ruined totally on Friday when the Avalanche play Walpole, because I just called Walpole versus the Avalanche on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, was one of the best EHL games I've called in 5 years.
Really?
Darn, and I missed it. But that's okay. I was busy.
It was a playoff atmosphere. Avalanche up 1-0. Express tie it. Avalanche go up 2-1. Express tie it on a goal that even Cody would say was like, just throw it on goal. Hopefully something happens. Matt Lane never saw it hit 2 bodies in the way through. They tie the game.
Wow.
We go to a electric overtime. Like I don't know how the game did not end in overtime. Then we go to a shootout. And did I put the screenshot in our group text, the group text, Brittany, or did I put in the other one? The
Of Cam Barbagallo?
Yeah, did I put it in? Which one did I put it in?
I didn't even see it.
Did you see it,
I don't
Jeff?
remember seeing it, no.
So you remember when TJ Oshie had that sequence where he just kept going for Team USA in the Olympics?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
So-
sure do.
Chris went to Barbagallo in the third round of the shootout. If you score, the game goes on. If you miss, it's over. Walpole wins. The kid scores. Game goes on.
Oh.
We go to the sudden death round. Walpole scores. Why not? Send the kid right back out there. He scores.
Oh my gosh, speaking of that, referees, after the 3 people have gone, you can recycle. We did not know that in Vermont, but don't worry. I held it down and told us. Go ahead, Brent McKay.
Had to
Go again.
refresh them all.
The officials asked Brittany.
Yeah.
There's your officials chirp of the week.
Right. Okay,
I've had that
continuing.
happen at
Where
Bentley
Cam
this year too, Brittany. So
So Barbagallo, 2 shots in a row, keeps the game alive, then gets a chance to win it and misses on the Peter Forsberg one-hand move.
yeah.
And he says on the way back to the bench to Coach Sorella, that was the only move I could try. I was tired. It's like, what?
Huh? That move takes more effort than most.
Whatever. So then Walpole misses, and it's like, all right, Chris, what are you going to do now? Send the same kid back out there 4 times in a row. He scores on that one and wins the game, and it's like bananas. Like
4 for 4.
Well, 3 for 4. He
Or
went
3
4
for
in a
4,
row.
sorry.
But then, Brittany, who went twice up in Vermont? Was it Rickett that went twice?
Rickett went twice and Buff went twice.
And Buff the line hit both the hits.
Right. Rickett missed once, and then Rich said, go again. I don't know. Sorry, Rich. I didn't understand that one, but that's fine.
It's the
okay.
the one guy that loves it is Jerry Dolish. Because remember,
What, reusing?
Well, it's doing the repeat.
Oh, 2 years ago he went to Trombley, Dave Trombley, 5 times in a row. Just kept sending him back out there, like, go again, go again.
Rinse, cycle, repeat. Rinse, recycle, repeat.
But it's funny. This is the 3rd time it's happened this year. Because you remember John Gabriel from the Junior Flyers scored 3 times in one shootout. Barbagallo 3 times in one shootout. Buffalo twice in his. if you have the hot hand at that point in the game, I guess why not send the guy back out there?
Yeah.
Why not? I would.
So those weren't the only games this week, though.
No.
We can't just talk about Rangers, Lumberjacks, Avalanche. 1, 2, 3 right now in the power rankings.
We could down south. There was some shakeups.
We'll keep going. We'll keep going down the screen here. Seahawks, Wolves, Express. That's going to be a fun race to see who gets 4, who gets 5, who gets 6. Currently 7. We'll get to fantasy later, but Jeff, whenever Brittany picks a goalie and then goes to watch that goalie, and
not
picked
so
by her,
good.
it just doesn't work. Like it just.
I
mean,
not even just a goalie. My
not even does it work.
Cursed.
Yeah.
I'm cursed.
0 points. Moose just goes quiet. He's like, nope, sorry, Brittany picked me this week. I can't score. Rob
right,
Hake.
like, oh my
Hake like
goodness.
rake. Nope, not raking anything this week. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness. What happened, folks? What did I do to you people, for Christ's sake?
Moose, call us in. Tell us. We got to start getting calls in here, too.
The Weimer pick, if he doesn't win that game,
oh, man.
it's a negative performance for Brittany.
Yep.
And
as Justin would say, I have a voodoo doll of the players, and I just
Actually,
don't know.
Justin said you have a voodoo doll of yourself.
I
You have to put your own
might.
voodoo doll down.
Right? Like, oh my goodness.
I don't know what
I'm
it
saying
is.
and
You're
I
making good
tweeted,
picks.
right, and I tweeted last week, I was like, yeah, revenge week, woo, and then no. I'm not going to tweet anything.
It's not like
this
you're
week. I'm not
picking
going on.
some random guy from the bottom of the roster. You're picking, top echelon EHL
Yeah.
talent, guys that are top points getters. They
just
just
hate
decide
me,
to hit the
I guess.
schneid when you pick them. I don't know.
it's
You'll
it's
start to run away.
They're still in a good spot though. The Wizards won 4 straight.
Yeah, back with 4 games over 500 too.
I just said Seahawks, Wolves, Express 4, 5, 6. Wizards could sneak up there. I don't want to count them out yet.
No.
They find a way to win out. We'll see where they finish. Seacoast still locking down the 8 spot. While they haven't played as well as of late.
Valley's heated up a little bit. Made some moves.
And the Chiefs are still alive behind them too, but I think it's Seacoast's spot to lose. They kind of control that destiny. And then
agree.
down south.
Who made their schedule?
God.
Their end schedule is
that
so
Mark
hard. Like, I would not want that as my last X amount of games.
Was that Kumps that did that, Neil? I think it was, right? Was that his goodbye president? Here you go, Seacoast. I'm out.
On last week's interview, Shea Flanagan said we want to play top teams at the end of the year. So,
okay, Shay.
Well, Shay, here you go, man. You get your wish.
Speaking of top teams, the 87s down south, going into last week, had a chance to lock up and be the first team to clinch their conference, the number 1 seed. Didn't go fully to plan. They beat.
And then they said, no, thank you.
They beat the Little Flyers. They lost to Revolution, who last week beat the Rough Riders and the 87s, both teams above them. I have no idea what to make of Revolution. I don't know.
No.
They've had a strange season. Very topsy-turvy, like you said, win games that you think that they should, then they lose games that you don't think they would lose, and
they're weird.
They're still only 2 points out of second place, though. So
the South is weird in general, like the whole South.
Is.
Everyone in the South. I'm like, okay,
strange.
I don't know. They pick when they show up, I think.
The Little Flyers got hot with a 7-game winning streak at one point, have cooled off lately.
Yep.
Team Maryland on the interview basically said, look, we have wins over the Rough Riders, the Little Flyers. They come close with the 87s. They've come close to Revolution. They've beat the Junior Flyers. They feel like they could beat anybody come in the playoffs. So it's tough to say. Like, I think at this point, the team that, if we had to say one team in the EHL that we were most confident about making it to Providence right now, we would all
New Jersey 87.
Well, I'm saying the whole EHL. I would even
Right.
I would even say the
pick-
Rangers.
I'd say Rangers.
If we collectively, the three of us had to pick one team and say all of our money jointly together,
Oh.
bet on this team, we'd probably say the Rangers.
Brittany, you're
I
all
picked the
7 figures in
87s.
your bank account. We'll take
You
all
would-
7 figures of.
You would say that you're more confident in the 87s than anybody else that over the Rangers.
Really?
I feel
Bert?
I feel like out of yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I
In
have
the
to go
South,
Rangers,
I feel like
Rangers.
every time I
Well,
feel like
we're-
everyone picks the Rangers, but in the South we're like New Jersey and who knows.
I just think Boston's the deepest team. I think that Rich has all 3 forwards, defensemen, goaltending. Out of if you have to go like what Neil was just saying, and we pick, all right, put up the 87s, put up the Rangers. I think that all 3 of he's got very deep forwards. He's got 4 lines that he can roll, 3 very strong deep pairings. You got Billy Gerard, one of the best goalies in the league. So
Now, do I think the New Jersey 87s will win the whole thing?
No.
No.
But so the Rangers have lost 3 games since returning from the holiday break.
One
right?
oh, I thought you meant the year.
No, they've lost 3 games since returning from the holiday break. They've lost 3 games since November, whatever.
That's what I meant.
Since losing to the Little Flyers at the November showcase, they've lost 3 games. 1 was in overtime. 1 was an empty netter with the Lumberjacks, I believe, 6-4, and then 1 was a shootout. So when they drop a game, it's not like it's a 5-2, got outplayed completely, like they were the better team loss. When they drop a game, it's like if we had made this one play or these 2 plays, you flip that result, it's a win.
Okay,
That's just the way I look at it right now. Now,
Yeah.
anything can happen in the playoffs.
That's a good analysis, Neil.
Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yep.
And right now for the Rangers, so as I've said a few times, we're recording this Tuesday, dropping it on Thursday. They're 3 wins away from clinching the number 1 seed in their conference.
I was actually going to ask you that because
Which makes February 23rd against the New Hampshire Avalanche
Uh-oh.
very interesting.
That's
Is that at-
possible
is that at
clinch
Bick?
day.
Well,
Is that at Bick?
it's at Bick. But leading up to that, they play the Seahawks, Railers, Wolves, and Chiefs. Okay,
So many.
so they
There's
got to
so
win.
much time in between.
They got to win three games, right? If we're keeping with this same, be generous. We're just assuming based off of where teams are at, and they beat the Railers and they beat the Chiefs. They only have to pick up 1 more win then against the Seahawks and the Wolves. They could even pick up an overtime loss in each game.
Overtime loss for a point.
Meaning that game on the 23rd could mean absolutely nothing for them. Now,
but it could mean everything for Chris.
Could mean everything for Chris. Now what do you do?
And with those 2, they're both going to be.
Now what do you do?
Rich versus Chris.
They're going to be firing off tweets all week long.
Now you know that if everything stays as is and the Lumberjacks win every game until then, the Avalanche win every game until then, and you win every game until then, right? Or you win all but 1. You know that you're not going to face either of them until you get to Providence, right? Because they're going to have to face each other in the 2-3 matchup if it gets.
And then it will be 1-4.
Then it'll be 1-4, 1 and whatever number is left. You know that 2 and 3 is a lock. The question for Rich is, who do you want to win the 2-3 series? like because that kind of dictates a little bit how you play on the 23rd.
You want Avs? You want Lumberjacks?
Who do you match up against better?
You want the tried and true 2-time EHL champions? Try to dethrone them. I think he's going to want. I would say he's going to want them. He wants to knock them out.
Well, because Adam Hooley said, who do I want to face after they'll likely get a first round bye? Right? He doesn't. It's the same 2-3 issue. Revolution, Rough Riders. All right, push them off to the side. Who would you rather face? Little Flyers, most likely, or a Maryland? He's like, well, we've struggled a little bit with each one.
Maryland, I would say Maryland if I was him.
And he says Maryland because Fusco beat me last year. I got to beat him this year to get there.
Yep. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton Knights. Yeah.
He beat me last year with Wilkes-Barre. I got to get through him this year.
I feel like we thought last year, too, it was going to be the 87s. And then we were like,
oh, yeah. Absolutely. When I saw the Knights, I was like, huh? What?
But
Nobody thought
the big
they were
key,
going to knock off Adam.
The big key for the Knights last year is they were in almost a playoff mode for like a month going into it because they still had an outside chance of going all the way from 3 to 2. So they were still trying to battle to get that playoff positioning. So they were playing out every contest. While the 87s, I think I don't have the date in front of me, but they clinched the top their
early,
spot, early because they were. Sorry, it was from 4-3 is I mistaken that one, because Little Flyers, sorry, Mark Catron, Anthony so you won 40 whatever games last year. You were the 1 seed. The 87.
Oh, they were high key the 1 seed.
The Knights, though, the Knights were playing things out down the stretch because they had a chance to improve on their playoff positioning, and it helped. They go play, a tough series with the Apple Corps, and they didn't have that time off. That's what's going to be really interesting for Vermont, right? So I mentioned before, they only have 4 games left. So their last regular season game is February 23rd.
That's early.
Say it works in their favor and they don't play in the first round. They get a first round bye. They won't play a game then until the 13th of March.
I know it's completely different,
again,
but
here we come.
If you want to compare it to something, look at the NFL. The NFL always says the bye can be a deadly thing. It can be a great thing. Look at the Ravens. Do you think anyone thought they were getting knocked out by the Titans?
Oh, they had won how many straight games? They had won 12 straight games, whatever it was. You wait for a little bit, and it's like.
Oh, and actually, Neil, I got a good one here. This is for our friend Justin Squitieri. Look at the Tampa Bay Lightning from last year.
Oh, God.
They clinched very early in the season last year, and they did not play a meaningful game for a very, very long time until they hit the playoffs, and then they ran into John Tortorella and the Columbus Blue Jackets, and what happened? They got
swept. Artemi.
And
Artemi Panarin and
Justin has.
Justin, I love you, man.
He has stopped listening to the podcast.
Love you, Justin. He knows it's just Bruins Lightning. It's just a good friendly jab.
And then
it's the same thing, It's the same thing that we're saying. It's like you don't want that. You want the bye to rest up, but you don't want it for too long because then these guys just get cold and you're just
you want it if you have injuries, but they don't have anything. Knock on wood.
Yeah. And the Wizards really are. Last year's score. Look at the Wizards. Their last month, it's kind of the same as the Knights last year. This last month, every game's they're fighting for their playoff lives, fighting for position,
and they had a first round bye last year. They won game 1 5-4 over the Lumberjacks, lost game 2, and then people forget Vermont was up 1-0 going into third period of game 3. Vermont was 20 minutes away from Providence.
Oof! I did not remember that at all.
I forgot that too, actually.
So the trivia.
Well, you were there.
You were calling it.
Okay.
None of us were there. We were not present.
It's all right. It's all right.
But that's what gets really interesting about this is I actually called 2 games that day. If you remember, Jeff, because I asked you if you could call one because I finished calling game 3 of the Lumberjacks Wizards, and I hightailed it up for game 1 of the Rangers Avalanche series.
I think I was at that game, and I just skipped the first one.
Anyways, sure. But what was interesting is
what'd you eat for lunch that day? Just kidding.
Probably had a sandwich.
Probably.
But then for the Wizards had a few extra days off before Providence, and that's going to be the fun part about all this. I could copy you in all the scheduling emails if you guys want to follow that.
I already am.
But
throw me in. Why not?
The second round has to end this year by March 20th, giving teams the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, 4 days to get ready to start on Wednesday the 25th. So, the time off at this time of year is so interesting. And then, I've had so many coaches say to me that, yeah, we could practice, but, it's just practice. We've already practiced 50 times this year. It's not like we need to work on this one thing. It's kind of just a matter of going out and executing at this point. But we'll transition to the Premier Division now, which is a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier for us to talk about because we're recording this Tuesday, launching it Thursday. No Premier games in that time. So the top 3 teams in the Premier, who have been the top 3 teams for ranking-wise,
3 weeks.
I don't know how long, but between the Rangers, Wolves, and Railers, they've combined to win 25 straight games.
Wow. That's insane.
That's nuts.
And all at that same time, the Little Flyers have won 8 straight.
Yep, they beat the 87s, right? That happened.
Twice.
Oh, they shut them out.
They shut them out, and the time before that, they won in overtime. The Avalanche, probably the team to be a little bit nervous about right now, 5-5 in their last 10, but still in second place. It's interesting. I asked Rich earlier this week. You have a chance to win both regular season championships. Do you want it?
There's a curse in case you don't know.
I was going to say, he said
There's
no.
a curse. There's a curse with the EHL one. No EHL regular season champ has ever won the playoff championship. That is that is not the case though with the EHLP.
If you're him, don't you want to rewrite the history books though?
That's what the
Or
Little
he's just
Flyers
like,
wanted
nope.
to do.
It's the Madden curse. I
In the
want nothing to do with it.
EHLP, he's won the regular season championship 2 years in a row. 1 year winning the playoff championship. That was the first year we were in Providence. Last year losing to the Wolves. It's wild. I mean, we talk about the unpredictability in the EHL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at that conference first in the Premier, and it's pretty easy to draw the line between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams. And I only say that because there's a 19-point difference between 4th place and 5th place. So,
Whoops.
if it's not 2 of the following 4, Rangers, Avalanche, Wolves, Railers in Providence, then I think all of us would be very surprised.
Mm-hmm.
The question just
Very
is,
surprised.
which of those 2 do you think it will be? And if I had to guess today, probably Rangers, Wolves, but I wouldn't count out the Railers either. And the Avalanche, for most of the year, were arguably the best team in the Premier. So that one's tough to say. I think down south it's become clearer in the recent weeks that it's Little Flyers 87s. Probably the clearest picture of any of the 4 conferences, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
But then it's interesting. They're not going to play each other when they get to Providence. They're going to cross over. It's top north versus bottom south and vice versa. And if I had to venture a guess, in year 3 of Providence, it'll be the first time we've ever had a interconference championship game.
Ooh.
Because
Bold prediction.
in previous years for the Premier, it's obviously we've only met up for the championship game, so 1 from each conference. That's been clean and simple. But in the EHL, it was Avs versus Revolution, okay, cross conference. Then it was Avs versus Little Flyers, cross conference. I don't know if it's going to be EHL. I don't know if it's going to be EHLP, but I would imagine one of the divisions we're going to have an all north.
Something.
All north. I'll say north.
Ooh.
I'll say north.
Ooh.
I'll say north. The south teams can come at my throat, but that's okay.
Holy is already lining up. I see him. I see him
Well,
sharp.
Alo's firing off texts as we
Oh.
speak.
I just the way it's playing out for me. I just the Premier Division. I see two north teams facing up. I don't know about the EHL, but I really think that we're destined for a Rangers Wolves final.
Is
Ooh,
Maladrupalo going to
bloodbath.
put up like 25 goals in the playoffs, or what's he going to do?
He's at
Solid.
50 whatever right now. Like,
It's
God.
funny. I saw the 50th goal. I was there. I was in the flesh.
Hey.
did they do anything, or was it just like
Rich tried to record it. Like Rich literally was recording for like 5 minutes, and then he just didn't get it. And I was like, dude.
And then the minute he shuts it off, boom.
Yeah.
Goal.
They call him Johnny Alphabet. Isn't that funny?
Oh, I like that.
But it's
Johnny
a good
Alphabet.
thing that Johnny Alphabet does not play in the Alphabet League.
Yes.
Right.
Alphabet Soup, is that what you called it?
No, Alphabet League. That's what.
Alphabet.
Okay.
The Alphabet League.
That's
Actually,
what
Britt,
SW.
I used that.
That's what SW called it.
I was at Bentley last week, and I said that to one of my coworkers there. He was like, "Oh, what are you doing this week?" I was like, "Oh, I'm working for the Alphabet League," as my friend Brittany Hart calls it.
That is funny. Tis
Well,
I.
we know that you have more fun with the EHL. So
Of course,
Right.
goes
it's-
without saying, Neil. Goes
we're
without saying.
a little over a month from Providence, and it's going to be, a lot of fun to watch. I think after this week coming up, it'll be another week of what really was clinched. There is a chance, though, if the 87s and the Rangers each win 3 games this week, which they each have the chance to, that they will both lock up the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences.
Again, something you don't want to do too early, much like with the bye. It's like then Gerard probably sits for a little bit. You put Reynes Reba in for some games, or do you?
Oh, Reba.
Well, I think that's a fantastic transition, Jeff, because the name that you just mentioned, the first one, is one of the is one of the fantasy picks this week. So let's go into what to watch for.
Before we wrap things up, here's what to watch for this week in the E-Show.
And not as many, high-end matchups as there were this past week. I mean, the Lumberjacks, Rangers, those are done for now. Maybe we'll see them again in Providence. Time will tell.
Oh, I would love that. I need my new friend Laura to be in Providence with me. If you don't know, Laura is a photographer for Vermont. Yeah, Laura shoots the pictures for Vermont, and she's my new bestie, so I want her there. So, come on, Jax, get it together.
Want her to go out with us in Providence and hang out.
We have been replaced, Jeff. So, anyways, the games coming up this week. I mentioned the Avalanche Express matchup. I'm just watching that because if we go back to a shootout again, I need to see Cam Barbagallo go right back out there in the shootout. Like, let's go, Chris.
That is Friday at the
Friday.
Den.
Little Flyers, Maryland, a playoff preview in the EHL. And those teams are under 125, so they'd go back and forth. Like I said, not as many big-time matchups to watch this week in the EHL. As for the EHLP, there's a Revolution 87th matchup. We can't totally write off the Revolution yet. They could make some noise in the playoffs. Any 3-game series, you drop one of those games, all of a sudden you're still digging out from behind the 8 ball. There's a Wolves Avalanche matchup. So, I talked a little bit saying Rangers Wolves most likely in Providence, but Avalanche are going to have something to say about that as well.
Worcester. Brian, we already got a trivia from Brian today.
That was a good one.
Odessa?
Brian Odessa, one of the multiple Odessas in the league, asked us to name the 4 coaches, EHL and EHLB combined.
Oh, we got an EHLB now?
Yeah, no. EHL Brittany.
Just teasing you. Love you.
I didn't know if we were not calling the Eastern Hockey League Brittany.
Oh. Brittany has her own conference.
But there's 4 coaches combined, EHL and EHLP, who have played in the Beanpot.
And I love the Beanpot. It was fun last night. Come on. 3 of them are really easy. Okay, not for you. 2 of them will be easy for Jeff. 2 of them are easy as heck.
They're EHL coaches in the North.
Right, the 2 that are obvious.
Well, I know Rich played at Niagara, so he's out.
Yep.
Sorella played at Quinnipiac. He's out. Timmy Kuhns, because he played at BC.
That's
okay,
1.
good. 1.
That's 1. I know we can swear, but I just almost did, and I held it back.
We've gone 7 episodes without one, so maybe you could break the seal.
No, we're trying to keep this. This is a child's chill. We encourage children to listen, and we're not going to do that.
Okay, another hint.
Zanaboni?
Everyone was
Zanaboni?
No, he played
at
Western Michigan.
Freddie. Duh, Freddie. He went to BU.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Other 2 are in the North.
But
Are they? The other 2?
Yeah.
Brian, who asked the question, Brian Odessa, played at Northeastern for a single
1 year.
So.
Oh, okay.
And then Jack.
It still counts.
And then Jack Lowry, the Lumberjacks EHLP coach, played at BC.
He is such a gem. He's such a gem.
He's a great guy. He's a fellow Mainer, so anyone that's from Maine has a place in my heart. So
Neil loves anyone that's from Maine. Anytime any player touches the puck and he's from Maine, he's from Maine. Don't worry, he's from Maine.
Don't worry, he's gonna pot it.
As I'm wearing my Sea Dog sweatshirt that has the state of Maine right here. Yep.
Yep. We say go Blackhawks. Yeah.
Neil's a product of Maine. Everyone.
I live in the state of New Hampshire, not by choice, but anyways.
You're gonna make him for that.
So, fantasy picks. I don't need to say it again. Our point totals aren't really finalized because there are a few Wednesday games also, so those will be updated in the graphic. Let's just go out there and start by saying that Danilo Moroz
Oh, screw you, Neil, for that pick. You smart
Legit.
human.
He is the man.
Yeah, Neil's got the opposite effect that Brittany has. Neil picks, and they just like, oh, Commissioner Rabbit? Okay.
Right, and then I pick,
gotta
and
go
they're
out.
like,
oh,
right,
Brittany
and then
did
I
it. No,
pick
no, no,
them.
no. Abandoned
Right,
ship,
we're gonna take a
abandoned
week
ship.
off here. We're taking a week off. If Brittany picks us, we're taking the week off. See ya.
We're out. See ya.
I'm gonna sit on the bench.
Let me just go
Bye.
through this.
Oh, God.
4 goals,
No, we
3
don't need to.
assists. Start over.
We have to.
Start over one more time. 4 goals, 3 assists, 3 power play points, a game-winning goal, 22 EHL fantasy points.
That makes me
Just from
actually want
Moreau's?
to puke. Yes.
Wait, that was just
yes.
Moreau's last week?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. I know he had
I
a
don't
goal
even
and
have
3
like
assists in one of
22
those games.
points in general, let alone
Oh my
from
God.
1 week.
So I was going
Demo.
to trip you and say that you didn't have 22 points in a week yet, but you did. You had 23 points 1 week. So
Thanks, Mitchell Haight. You rock.
but like, let's go.
Did I even get any points? What was my final point total? Like legit, like 1.8.
Wait, do you still have someone tomorrow?
So there's still a couple of guys.
Wait, who do
going
I have tomorrow?
I might have Greif tomorrow because I
There's
know 87s are playing.
87. So
Oh, come on, Moose. Let's
There
go.
are some-
Oh, yeah, you got Moose. There you go.
yeah, maybe the goose egg will not be a goose egg anymore.
Maybe Moose gets you a hat trick. Maybe he gets you 3 goals, a couple of apples, gets you like a 5-point day.
I
All
think it
power
goes
play
without
points.
saying. It goes without saying that if you don't score any points, you can't really catch up. So,
Listen, I'm about to strap the skates on, but I can't say I'd be any better.
I'm out. I'll see you. Bye.
so let's go over the new picks.
Yeah.
Of
course, I still need to go first because I'm still in last.
But you could talk about how you stole a pick from me. It's fine.
Okay, so at forward, who was on the podcast, EHL All-Star, Becker commit, Tristan Mock. Oh, they both committed to Becker, actually, who was on the podcast.
I was
Okay,
looking at him
anyways.
this week, too. That
Yeah,
was a good pick.
Mock. And Neil, earlier, we were talking about our picks, and I was sitting in Starbucks, really confused on who to pick. And then all of a sudden, I was like, OMG, Tristan Mock. And Neil's like, I was going to pick him. But I've stolen Tristan Mock. I'm not sorry at all.
Not sorry.
I'm really, truly not sorry. So Tristan Mock, I can't even beg these people anymore because just straight up doesn't
If she
work.
says their name, she's just like, yep, and I know you just took off for the rest of the week.
Reverse it, right? Say, Tristan, I hope that you get to the red line and dump it in every time.
Every
put it-
single.
Put it right in the corner. That way,
Ugh.
the reverse effect, it hits off a stanchion in the corner, off the back of the goalie and in, game-winning goal. Boom.
Right, game.
Dude,
winning
if
goal.
something happens like that, I quit. I'm done. If Brittany has like some weird thing where the guy literally just like catches a disease when he hits the blue line, it's like, nope, I'm done.
He's going to catch the coronavirus. Anyways.
Now
Moving on.
we're a health podcast. Continuing on.
Yes, very good. So for
Vicky will be
defense,
very happy and proud.
Yes.
oh, true. All right, so defensemen, your New Jersey 87s are playing North Carolina. I have picked Trevor Sear, who Adam Hooley sat last series against the Golden Bears, but that's not going to happen this time. I don't know that, but I'm just going to guess. So yeah, Trevor Sear, roll 7s. I have no idea. Don't be a moose. Okay, for me, I beg.
Don't be a moose.
I really do. I am so ruthless. Okay, and then
Golden Bears played the little Flyers tough the other day too.
Yes.
Percent in.
Mhm.
Oh,
Cool. No, they've been
Run
really
for their money.
competitive. They've been really competitive in the second half. I mean, it's the scores have been tighter. It's just the win losses have not been there. But
Trevor Sear, go off. All right, and then in
Go Sear.
go Sear, yay! And then in goal, I have my boy, the UNE commit as of yesterday. Well, which won't be yesterday when you hear this. Billy Gerard.
Billy.
Billy, I have 2
Great.
EHL All-Stars on my team. Yeah, go Billy. I have the faith.
so I don't know if Billy will play against the Railers, but I would imagine.
I
he
don't know,
plays
but if
against-
Rich wants these wins, I feel like he's gonna toss him in there.
yeah, I mean,
And
he'll
I
play-
feel like once Rich will clinch, like you said, then Little Reba will go. And
Little Reba. Is that another
he's
nickname?
second 01. He's
yeah,
young.
He is young.
He's
a little
He
baby.
kind of looks like Tim Thomas in that too. I remember he came in one game I think it was against the Railers like many moons ago. And he's a very like small goalie, but Rich is a big fan of him. He's got high hopes
Just
for
a
him.
little Latvian.
Latvian guys can play.
You know that Gerard will be in net at least against the Wolves on Sunday.
Right, let's go. Billy Gerard, let's get a shh. Oh, I can't say that. I love the Wolves. Yes, I do.
We hope that you fire many shots towards Billy.
I'll take all her swag.
Right. No, Wolves, I encourage you to shoot the puck as much as you can. I can't say I want them to. I can't not say I want them to find the back of the net, but shoot all you want. Shoot them. Let's rack up 60 shots. I have no idea.
But they have to be on Billy's pads, though, Britt, too, because if they shoot towards the net, it hits the post or goes into the glass.
No. Shots on goal. No, shots.
Shots on
As in, we're hitting the shot button on the live score. That's a shot. You should see us in the Avalanche. The scratches will just scream shot, and I'll just press it like a million times. Okay, next. Who's next? Those are my picks. Next.
Well, it's not Neil, so because Neil's still in first.
Right. Okay.
I'm still chasing him. Oh, that's why we didn't get the updated standings yet. Well, also thank you for both of you for helping me out. Tomorrow's my girlfriend's birthday, so
oh my gosh, I can't talk right now. HBD, girly.
So that's why.
Is she gonna come to Providence?
Available. Yeah, she was actually just asking me when the banquet is, and she's gonna come hang out.
The banquet. There was a banquet talk earlier. We'll fill you in, Jeff.
Ooh,
all right, then back to the picks.
So back to the picks. So let's see. So in net, I'm going with here his nickname around some parts is the Falcon, Tobias Falkenstead. I've been wanting to pick him for the last few weeks, and I'm deciding to go with it. I'm deciding to pull it this week. He's still in the top 3 of goaltenders in the league, and his numbers look good, and hopefully he plays a couple. I think the Express have 3 games this week, so I'm hoping he can play in at least 2, or maybe at least even if he plays in one of them.
With the Avalanche, so
it does, but they get a lot of shots on net, so he'll get to stay it.
Oh, and none of us have gotten a bonus point yet for either a game
beating a top 5 team.
Yeah, for either a game-winning goal against a top 5 team or beating a top 5 team.
Correct.
But remember, Avalanche have to go 6-0-1 or better. So
right.
This is gonna be wild.
Yep.
So Tobias Falkenstead is going to be my goaltender. At forward, or actually no, excuse me, at defense, we start from the back out. Zachary Papapetros.
Papapetros, come on, say it right.
That is Papapetros, no?
Heck no.
Papapetros?
Reigning defenseman of the week.
It is Papapetros though, not Petros.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach, I've been calling you wrong.
Is like when I'm calling a game, it's like it's kind of like one of those long last names that like by the time I finish it, the puck's already off.
He's already off the ice.
You should just say Papa.
Well, it's tough because I don't want to say Papa has the puck.
Freddie does.
It sounds very unprofessional.
Freddie does. It's fine.
Yes, okay. Papa.
All right, so
Papa.
You're a college coach, right? Papa comes out from behind the goal.
Who's Papa?
Who's Papa?
Who's this Jamal calling this game? This guy right off.
Someone's dad has a puck on their stick?
Yeah, what the hell?
I say Papa Petros.
Papa Petros, okay.
Yeah.
So Zachary
last week?
Papa Petros.
Yeah.
He only has 1 goal in the season, but he's got 27 apples, 14 of those coming on the power play. So I'm hoping that we get me some power play points. And then lastly, we're going to go with another Wolf. Jack Loran came up for me last week. I'm sticking with the Wolves forwards. We're going to do it with Mr. DJ, another tough name, Schwenky.
Yes.
DJ Schwenky. Some people will think it's Schwenk, but have gotten clarified. It is Schwenky.
Great.
And
this is Jeff pumping the Wolves tires.
Right, Andrew. I need to make Andrew's graphics for this week. Thank you for my reminder.
Where's my swag? I want my swag.
That's actually so good. I need to make the
send
graphics.
Andrew and Tim a text. But yeah, so we're gonna go with DJ Schwenky to wrap it off, and we'll get the updated standings tomorrow to see how far behind Neil I am in first place. But now to Mr. First Place for his picks, Neil Ravin.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Jeff. I really appreciate that. Yes. We'll start from the back end like you did, and I'm going to take advantage of the points that Brittany did not get for Dylan Weimer and get them myself this week.
Oh,
that will cut
this
deep.
is where Dylan turns it. He's like, "Oh, Brittany last week. Nope, Neil's got it this week. Here comes the show."
No, I am a big Dylan Weimer fan too. I was upset.
Yeah, he's just not a fan of you, I guess, for some weird reason.
If he comes back
His loss, Britt. His loss.
If he comes back with a shutout victory,
Oh,
I
I'm done.
Neil, I am gonna burn the Edge Sports Center to the ground.
wow,
Oh.
that's some premeditated stuff.
All right, we'll
there.
call
All
the
right.
Bedford police now and just let them know.
Wow.
Call Bedford
some-
police, Bedford
Being
fire.
charged for arson.
Yeah, they would
Wow.
bring you in. Why'd you do it? Fantasy
Uh.
hockey. Fantasy hockey.
You guys have any proof? Yeah. Would you listen to our pod real quick? We
Yeah.
can show you the proof. Here it is.
So we're gonna go with Dylan Weimer. Wizards play, I think, just the Chiefs this week.
They
That's
do.
why I stayed away from any. I was gonna pick Chance Gorman. I'm gonna save
Well-
him maybe for one of the weeks later, but
As many games as there were last week, there's a bunch of teams that have just one game.
One
this
game.
week. And then-
Avalanche too. That's
but
I was
then
looking at
there's-
some Avs and couldn't do that either.
But then, Brittany said this with the 87s that, yeah, they play in North Carolina. They have multiple games, but, like, who's going to play? Like,
Right.
You pick a kid, and, again, it goes without saying, if they are not in the game, they can't really get you any points.
Nope.
Right. Adam, if you sit Trevor Sear, we're gonna have a lot of issues.
We're going to have words. We're going to have words.
We're gonna have words.
Better get on the horn.
So, by picking Dylan, it does break my streak. I had gone 9 picks, 9 different teams. My 2 other picks, though, are from new teams. So of my 12 picks so far, 11 different teams. I will take credit for that.
Keeps the style points, peeps.
I'm going to go with Mitchell Haight. Now, if Weimer gets more than the 3.8 that he got for Brittany that 1 week, and if Haight gets more than the
I see
He
what
got
you're
me a
doing,
few.
Neil. I
Mitchie
see
got
what
me
you're
a
doing.
few.
he
Taking all of Brittany's old scraps, and we're gonna try
Right.
to toss them up.
If he,
No, Mitchie got me a few.
I think-
We're
I think
not
he got
gonna
5 or
lie.
so.
Yeah,
got
he
5
did
or
pretty
so.
well. Yeah.
And we'll see if that one happens. And then the final twist, if you will,
Ooh,
Jeff.
here it comes.
Cody Rumsey, Team Maryland, because I couldn't pick Tristan Mock.
So you're
I'm
going
going
with another
Cody
Marylander.
Rumsey. The last time that the Little Flyers played Maryland, that's their first matchup of the week.
Oh, Cody Rumsey got FOW,
A goal and 4 assists.
Ooh.
i.e. forward of the week.
Forward
Oh.
of the week.
Cody, please don't do me like that. I need Neil to come
So-
down a couple. I need Neil to
No,
have a
I
drinking
need
league.
it. Cody Rumsey sit on the bench. Tristan Mock swing out every shift. They might be
So-
on the same line.
Oh, maybe
I
they'll
don't
do that.
know.
Maybe Mock can be like, no, Cody, you stay on the bench. Coach, he's gonna like,
They could be on the same
Fusco's
line,
like
but
this with their jerseys. No, you go. No, you go.
Jesus. like, Coach, I gotta get fantasy points.
That last game, though, was that 9-6, 3 field goals to 2 field goals game. So,
Oh, holy heck, yeah.
so we'll see. I mean, hey, it's
Hey,
with fantasy, it's unpredictable.
It is.
No.
yeah, I
It's
think
a-
I
you're
can
just-
attest. Me and my voodoo dolls will tell you.
I think Neil's got like the high and bloom formulas in his office or something. Crunching numbers
Do you
over there.
pay these kids off?
Oh, scandal.
Oh my gosh, remember the
Safe sport.
scandal?
Safe sport. No. CJ Klein didn't have a big week for me.
Yeah, you've had a couple that have missed, but for the
The
majority
first-
you've hit.
The first 2 starts for JP Mella, he has one more start left in that fantasy week. He did not win either game. He gave up 6 goals, but when you make 72 saves, that's 8.4 points already right there. So
That's what went into my Falcons step pick, as I saw some scary opponents, and I was like, yeah, but he could get saves, which we cancel out, and then he is a very good goaltender, so if they do get me the win, then I get the extra, so I'm taking a risk.
Yeah, like I was gonna pick Greif, but he's literally not playing, so we're definitely not gonna pick him.
I've seen
You better
some
play
goalies-
tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen some goalies make saves from the bench, but those ones also don't count. So
Right, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that time when Lane got pulled and you picked him, and he's like, "Add that save" when he like caught a puck or something. He's like, "Put that on my saves."
yeah, he was in the belly box and caught one, and I was
Oh, I love
and I was
that.
like, point, give it to me, give it to me.
Style points because he was in the penalty box, +4. I love watching
Horrible.
the backup snag pucks like that. They do too. They're like, oh, no big deal. I got it. I'm on my game.
I learned something very new with Matt Lane this past week too. In that Walpole versus Express game,
I guarantee you, I already know this fact, but go.
Brittany knows everything.
should I even keep going, Jeff?
No, Neil. And that'll
come
do
on,
it,
say it.
folks.
What is
See you
it?
next week.
I was
See
gonna
ya.
say that. So
Throw your mic like she
at the
does.
end of overtime, Walpole had a chance, and the clock was running out, and Lane comes up to play the puck, and he shoots it over the glass. So in junior hockey, if the puck goes over the glass out of your own zone, like not the bench obviously, but if it's the goalie doing it, it's a delay of game penalty.
Oh my gosh.
If it's a player doing it, it's not a delay of game, but they can't make a line change. But what's interesting is he does this with 1.2 seconds left. So I'm like, if you go back and watch my broadcast, I'm like having like a brain fart. I'm like, like I don't know what's going on. Like Lane can't go in the box, so Archambault goes in the box. But if Archambault's in the box and we go to a shootout, can he shoot? I don't know because it's the goalie's penalty. Turns out he can because it's not his penalty. But then Cody calls timeout. He pulls Falkenstadt for the extra attacker. So now a 3-on-3 game is now 5-on-3. So they just sell out off the face-off. Everyone's body is going everywhere trying to get one more shot on goal. And eventually went to a shootout. But it was just like – it was wild.
Weird.
It was wild.
Okay, I take it back.
nightmare.
I did not know this fact as I was en route to Letty Park Arena. So, all right, Neil, you got me with one fact. I'm sure I'll have 7 more for you. But
I don't know whose mom it was next to me listening to the broadcast, but she was getting closer as the game was ending because I was like explaining the rules of the shootout. And
Don't you
she was
love
like-
that? I love when
she-
they do that.
I turned the mic up and she goes, I know, I was getting like really close to you, but like I was just trying to figure out what was going
oh
on.
my God, I wish I know who it was. See, that's the thing. If I was at the Den, I am president of the mom club at the Ice Den Arena. I am friends with all the moms, so I would have had that one for you at least.
The moms are big fans of Brittany.
They are. What can I say? I'm just a charmer.
Add
That's
that
great.
add that to your resume.
She
I
does
know.
it all.
Good with the moms. President of the mom club.
Good with the mom.
Is that good?
So are we good for next Wednesday, the usual recording time, Jeff?
What is the usual recording time? I actually
Oh
think
no,
I
this is the usual Wednesday. Because the week after you'll have to do me a favor probably. My birthday's in there somewhere, so
Oh, when is your birthday, Neil?
The 25th.
Oh, that's the Tuesday. Okay. Your birthday's on a Tuesday. Next Wednesday.
Chris told me that
Uh-oh.
Brittany should make a birthday graphic that embarrasses the hell out of me and put that on the EHL Instagram.
Oh, I have the login, so that's great. Yeah, good job.
So.
Do you have any material, Britt? We can talk.
Oh, I
privately.
could.
I don't think I have. I don't have anything.
That's why they make
Professional
Facebook, and that's why Neil has all of his Facebook from college on it still. So
Time hop.
plenty of content. Time hop.
Here it comes. It's time I've got
was
today. Neil, to answer your question, I got 3 games next Wednesday, so we might have to chat about that off air.
3 games? How do you even do that?
I'm a
You gotta
I'm a
pace
glutton for
yourself,
punishment.
man. You gotta pace yourself.
I know.
All right. Well,
I
hey,
like the work.
that's episode number 7. That's a wrap.
That's a
That's a
wrap.
wrap.
Let's see what comebacks you guys can start to make this week. It's not going to be. I'm not going to run away with this.
I have a good feeling Brittany's this is Brittany's week. Britt, I'm putting all the good
Not-
time.
This is me knocking on the wood.
Oh, I will too. Knocking
I
too.
need to make the biggest turn of all.
You will. You got it. Positive
Well,
vibes.
Positive vibes. Good vibes only. Yes.
We'll see you guys at the rink this week.
Sounds good.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to The E-Show. Learn more at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when next week's podcast is released.